Hey you guys, do you hear that thunder out there? It is raging. Ugh, storm is coming. And many storms have already come for this group that I'm gonna talk about. You guys, come on in. Sit down with me, cause we need to talk about the boys. You all probably know, maybe you don't, but this is a K-pop idol boy group that has had a whole lot of controversy surrounding them. You think that these boys would just be able to go and release their music, you know, go be cute, perform on stage, sing, have fellowship with each other, and be adored by fans. But no, that's not what is happening here. Every time we look, it's one controversy, one scandal, then another one, and it just piles up. And these guys are not given a break at all. And so I talked about the one big scandal that they had with the whole thing about bullying and them not treating their staff right, and that one member, and it was a whole thing with like someone else in the public, and it was like the walls were just caving in on this one guy. And so now, guess what? It has happened again. This time with this member named Ju Hyun.
까지 나오면서 소속사에서 공식 입장을 냈습니다. 주학년이 게이 사생활 이슈에 연루됐다는 내용을 확인을 했고, 그 다음에 즉시 활동 중단 조치를 했다. 더 이상 신뢰를 이어가기 어려워서 팀에서는 탈퇴하고 전속 계약을 해지하기로 했다라고 아예 공식적으로 입장을 내놨습니다.
He is half Chinese, half Korean, and he is considered like the face of this group. Most people see him as very handsome. The boys I was about to say were, are, let me stop, are somewhat popular in Japan, and they have garnered a fan base. So they have been over in Japan as well as Korea, and that's where this whole problem starts. You would think that this guy would be able to go and just have a good time out at whatever party he goes to, but there has been so many different rumors and people talking about these guys partying and having maybe a little bit too much fun, being involved with like different girls, and it's a whole lot of layers to this, where it's like, what is rumors and what is the truth, or is the truth somewhere in between? So this guy, he is in Japan, he goes to this party, he meets up with these people, and among the people there is this woman who is very, very, very well known as being how do I say this without this being too X-rated? She's like an AV adult film star actress, and she is very well known. Her name is Kiara Asuka, and I always think of Kilala. No, not Kilala from Inuyasha. No. I love Inuyasha, but no, Kirara. It sounds like Kilala. Kirara. Rah. Let me stop butchering this woman's name. But she was at this party, and there surfaces a photograph of him hugging this woman. And so that's where the fire ignites, and that's where all of the mess begins. And somehow they came up with prostitution charges. Don't know where the prostitution charges came up from. Don't know what evidence they had, but the Korean public just formulated this overall conclusion of this guy paying this woman for intercourse. And many people ran with it. And it got very, 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 very bad, that it caused huge controversy for the boys, because they already had one controversy already. This is like the second one. It's kind of like months in between each other, but it's still very close. And so they're panicking. And then there's something else too. I was thinking to myself, like, why is it always something with these guys? Why is it always like there is a microscope on these guys? And it's like, it's always something, like people are looking for something to be like, aha, look, you all are the bad group. Like, you all are the ones. It used to be Big Bang, but now it's like, they're the new generation of bad boys. And then I find out that they signed with MC Mung, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, no wonder. If you all don't know who MC Mung is, he was a very popular rapper back in like the 90s to the mid 2000s. This man had dental work every single time he was drafted to go to the military. And he thought he had a good thing going. And the Korean government and the South Korean public were like, you think you're slick. You better carry your behind onto that military. And so he lost a lot of fans. He lost a lot of support because when you are a man and that's your duty and your obligation to go, they expect you to go because it's like you're earning money in this country. You want to protect the country that you're earning money from, right? And so he meant that he was going to keep dodging going to the military and doing that service. And so what did a lot of people do? They dodged and stopped supporting him too. That support got dodged and avoided and everything else. And so he became public enemy number 3076. And I didn't really hear too much from him. And mind you, I was actually a fan of his. Like, me being an old school Korean pop fan, Korean music fan, Korean hip hop fan, his music was good. Like, his music was very good. The collaborations were good. Some of my favorite songs when I was first really getting into like Korean music and learning Korean language was by him. And it's very sad that that happened instead of him just biting the bullet and going. But the Boyz associated themselves with this controversy, so that already left a bad taste in a lot of Korean people's mouths, especially Korean people that remember what MC Mung did. So I was like, okay, that's where the target comes from. So then this happens. They are dragging this poor guy up and down social media. The global fans are doing it. The Korean fans are doing it. The Japanese fans are doing it. The Japanese people were the ones that had the media that even found and took the picture. So, you know, everybody dragging them. I mean, just a whole complete drag. It's like they came together as a fusion or like a Megazord and just dragging him. It got so bad that Asuka had to start speaking out. Where she eventually was like, I've never paid or never received money for intercourse from anybody. We did not have intercourse. He might have been a fan of mine, but we did not have intercourse. It is like, and then she actually, later on, she goes a little bit deeper and she says, I wasn't the one that was actually interested in him that night. There was another girl that was at that party or get together that was more interested in him. She's like, he's a handsome guy, but, you know, like there was nothing. But then the picture would tell a different story, because in the picture he does have his arms around her. So what are people going to surmise from this? That there was some type of intimacy between them. I don't know what that was. I don't know what led to that. I would assume that he was a fan of hers. This woman has an extensive career of being in this industry. She retired. She's now just an influencer. She's a very like cute, bubbly type of girl. That's her personality. She looks very much like the poster child of girls that Japanese and Asian guys like. Like, she looks just like any other poster girl that you would see. You know, and it's like she seems like she's a very bright, positive girl. And she's speaking out and she's saying that this did not happen. And so they had to bring him in on charges. He was about to be charged because of this whole story that happened. And many people believe that that's what he did. So a lot of people were against him and were against the Boyz and were against MC Mong and just the overall production and everything that was going on. And so it was announced that he left the group. Where I saw this, I was like, that don't seem too right. It seems a little too perfect. But that does happen a lot. I do want to say that there's always something else when it comes to these members just being dispatched from these groups. It's never just, oh, I'm leaving. A lot of times they are forced to leave or they are kicked out because either something has happened behind the scenes or there is some type of disagreement in some type of way. And even Asuka herself said that somebody was out to get him. They were like, because he didn't want to leave the group. Now, mind you, there are some members of these K-pop bands that they will voluntarily leave because they don't want to cause trouble for the other members who have worked hard. In this situation, he came out and said that he had no plans of leaving the group. No plans at all. And what ended up happening was the label put pressure on him and said that, well, you gotta have to pay us back 2 million won in damages and all the stuff that's going on, and you gotta get out, basically. And he said that even the other members were like, you gotta go. You gotta go, bye. You gotta go. He's like, he had no intentions of leaving this group. I also want to point out, I mentioned earlier about him being half Chinese. I do think that has something to do with it. I do think that there is a situation right now with like Korea and China, especially South Korea, and how Chinese people are being viewed and how certain foreign people are being viewed. And I do think that aided to it a little bit, as well as him just being good looking and being an idol. And when you are an idol, there's this culture and this spoken rule and unspoken rule that you belong to everybody. It's kind of crazy. It's cray-cray, but that's what it is. And when you're seen with somebody else, when you are touching someone else of the opposite sex, it could be of the same sex too, really, people get upset and they get very angry. And it's like, no, you belong to us. We're supporting you. You belong to us. Because this is my thoughts on this whole thing. To me, had this happened anywhere else in any other circumstance, in any other culture, it wouldn't have been a big deal. People would have gone along about their own lives. They might have joked about it. But when this happens in East Asian culture, it is a big deal. This guy is almost 30. He's a grown man. Asuka is in her mid-30s. They're both consenting adults. Prostitution is not legal in Japan or South Korea. But I will say this, definitely in South Korea there is prostitution. And it's in Japan too. It's just very undercover and hidden. But it does happen. South Korea, this still applies. If you have blonde hair, blue eyes, you walk around at night and you look somewhat pretty, attractive, sexy, there are older men that will still think that you're a prostitute. Because there is still this culture. It's just under the cover. Like, pornography is not legal either in South Korea, but you better believe that they watch it. Oh, it's distributed. I know that for a fact. It's definitely distributed. And they do watch it even though it is illegal. So, this all being said, this could have happened. But I don't believe it did. What I do think happened is that there might have been some type of sexual relations between them. And the only reason why I say this is because of the picture. The picture in itself is odd. Some people are talking about this topic, and I don't think they saw the picture. The picture that was shown is very odd. They supposedly had just met that night. You don't hug on somebody like that you just met that night. Unless there was some type of intimacy or something going on. Like, even if he was a fan of hers in her earlier work, he wouldn't have been hugging on her like that. That's very intimate. So it makes me think it's like something probably did happen. But they are adults. He is an adult. You think that all these idols that you see are not doing this too? You think they're not entertaining females? They are. Why? Because they're men. That's how it is. That's life. You know, they are. You support them as a fan. You see them in one way in the glitz and glamours and what they show you as being an idol because that is their job. But what they do outside of that, when the cameras turn off, when the lights turn off, when they take off the makeup and take the dye out of their hair and all of that, who they are outside of all of that is something different. And it's something that you probably will never know. And that's how it is. I saw this all as he is an adult. She is an adult. If there was some money exchange, that is illegal and he should be punished for it. I don't believe that it was, though. I believe that they both were attracted to each other and something happened. And I believe that we saw the end result of that with them hugging in that picture. And I think that they tried to play it off because it is shameful to talk about stuff like that out in public. But I believe that's honestly what happened. I don't think that that was the reason why he was kicked out of the Boyz, though. I think that there was something else, and I think that they used this to kick him out. I think something else happened behind the scenes, and they used this whole situation to kick him out. Whoever was in that label, I don't know if it was MC Mung, I don't know who it was, they were gunning for him the whole time. And what they did was they used this to get him out. That's what happened. If you look at all of the evidence and everything that is spread out on the table here, that's what it was. They forced him out. I don't know if he had some opposing opinions. I don't know if he had a bad attitude. I don't know if he was just butting heads with the members and MC Mung and everybody else, and they were just like, oh, they call him in Japan, he was with this actress, let's use this. Oh yeah, he gotta go. Oh yeah, this is our way to get rid of him, kick him out, because they kicked him out so fast. Like, there was not even a second thought. I was like, this was all a smear campaign. This was all a plan to get him out. And they got him out. And, you know, it's just like, be upfront with your messiness. Be upfront with how you feel. If you don't want somebody in the group, just kick them out. You don't have to concoct this whole thing up. You don't have to use this. I do agree with them suing the media in Japan for spreading the prostitution thing, because there is another progression in this news story, and he was cleared of all the charges because there is no real evidence. There's not, because I don't think any money was exchanged for the sexual intercourse. I think the intercourse just happened. That's what I honestly think. I think that's what I think it happened, and I think that they were feeling each other. And, you know, it was what it was. They're human. I mean, people have sex. You know, no one should be falling out of their chair. Nobody should be feeling any type of way. But a lot of the stands, a lot of the people in these fandoms will. When they find out that stuff like this happens, when they find out that the people that they glorify and that they put on a pedestal are human beings, it's like, oh my God, you're actually a human being. Yeah. They're human beings, just like you and me and everybody else and the next person, and they're gonna have desires, they're gonna have urges. If this happens, it's nothing wrong with it. He's not married to none of you all. He's not dating you all. If this happened, it happened. It is what it is. He enjoyed himself. I hope she enjoyed herself. You know, I do think it's sad that they led with this fake news. And when this does happen, no matter who it is, no matter if it's him, no matter if there was fake parts of the story with Jesse's story as well, it's important that it is called out and that it is talked about and it is brought to light, because no one should be blamed for something that they really didn't do, because it is damaging. And the truth, I feel like, is always either somewhere in between, or the truth will somehow be unveiled. So there's a lot to think about, you guys. How do you feel about all of this? Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also the blog, Niche Asian Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching. Put below your thoughts on this whole rant I had. And I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.